I joined the Navy as an engineering officer cadet on the 19th of September 1999, aged 18, thinking, what am I doing? I must be in the wrong place. But I loved it. I loved training, I loved everything about being at sea, and it was our first training trip away on board HMS Exeter, and I remember using a rowing machine for the first time. It was hot, it was hard. The instruction was go as fast as you can for 1,000 metres. I remember the feeling of immense pain and fatigue, but my time was 3 minutes and 5 seconds. I'll never forget it. I had finally found a sport that I was good at. My instructions were go and win medals and don't forget you're in the Royal Navy. And I made sure that I did. I actually had permission to go to Tokyo 2020, but I saw my career in the Navy as much more important to me than going to another Olympic Games. So that was the time to retire.
I got a phone call from Pete saying, please don't worry, but I'm in hospital. So I drove down, got to Plymouth, got to hospital. He is lying on the bed, surrounded by staff, which immediately I was like, what the hell's happened? And I've never seen him look, at that point, I've not seen him look that vulnerable before. He was in absolute agony, and I remember him just going, I feel like there's a belt around my chest and someone is pulling it tighter and tighter and tighter. And I remember holding his legs and him going, I can't feel my legs, I can't feel my legs. And they just slowly stopped moving.
The consultant said, you'll never walk again. Your bladder and bowel functions and your skin care, everything below here is now completely wonky, and I'm in hospital paralysed thinking, what has happened to my life? It's a long way to fall.
I think the enormity of what had happened probably didn't really hit home until the first time he was in a wheelchair. We just lived literally hour by hour. That's all I could do, that's all Pete could do, because otherwise if I stopped and thought about the enormity of what had happened, it just got a bit too much.
I was an ambassador for the RNRMC, which predated injury.
We'd been to a couple of supporter events where we saw examples of the work that they did, but I never thought that we would be needing them to help us.
It's amazing how the world isn't designed for wheelchairs and it's not designed for disability. I try and be as robust as possible and see things as a challenge, but it is hard. It gets me down sometimes.
It's hard to ask for help. It's really hard. It's a pride thing, I think.
We're 2 years post-injury now, and over the time of rehabilitation and then coming back into the service, the RNRMC have helped me and Jeannie with all sorts. I'm sitting in a bespoke wheelchair that's the right shape and size for me and very safe to be in, and that's a game changer. I've got a new powered front wheel that locks onto your wheelchair with a battery and a motor and some handlebars to turn your wheelchair into a motorised trike. It might sound like nothing, but I can walk side by side with Jeannie holding hands now, where I couldn't before because I needed both my hands to push the wheelchair. We also were able to access services from Relate, so a counselling service. So going through all of that change and trauma and challenge, we had somebody to help us navigate that journey.
We've been in such a stormy sea for such a long time, and it feels a little bit unbelievable how far we've both come. What's so wonderful about the RNRMC is whether it's something small or something quite big, you've got someone that you can go to and say, actually, I'm really struggling with this. I really need a bit of help.
Please pick up the phone and speak to somebody. It's really important.